están, rebeldes? Desde hace unos programas, comenzamos a dar una vuelta por el pasado. ¿Por qué no revisamos lo que vimos en la lección anterior? Could you run fast when you were 5? No, I couldn't.
Could you play the trumpet when you were 10? Yes, I could.
Could you ride skateboards when you were in primary school? Yes, I could. La idea es tener más herramientas para hablar de lo que ya sucedió. Pero también volvemos la vista atrás para conocer mejor quiénes somos. Como dicen, si nadie se opone, ¡empezamos!
Today will be an awesome day. Na 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 na. Experiences you won't forget. Na 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 na. You're here to learn different things, many ways you've never seen. Different stuff, much more fun. Everybody will have a good time. Knowledge is what you need. If a champ you wanna be, what can be better than this? 'Cause what you need, we gotta hear now. Everybody now sing with me. Na 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 na. Take my hand and follow me. Na 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 na. 'Cause you are about to see. Na 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 na. All the things you need to succeed. Na 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 na.
Unit 5, Lesson 5. I couldn't use a computer. Usarán could en forma afirmativa o negativa para hablar de las habilidades de otra persona.
Hello.
Hello!
How was work today, Antonio? Could you finish the design for the invitation?
No, I couldn't. You will have to wait a little more.
Antonio, you're using the old computer. You should use the new one. It has better software.
I tried to use a new computer, but I couldn't.
It's not very difficult. It's the same as any other computer.
It always happens like that. He has trouble with machines when they are new.
Yes, you're right. Maybe I just have to try harder.
Did you know, Hero? He's always been the same since he was a child.
Is that true, Antonio?
Yes, when I was a child, I couldn't play with my new toys. They were too complicated for me. I remember when we had our first radio at home.
That was almost 60 years ago. Antonio was still a child. He was very excited when the radio arrived. He walked up to the box. He was very excited. He could plug it in, but he couldn't turn it on. Then, a few years later, he had his first TV. He was very happy about it. He could imagine good times. He walked around it, but he couldn't turn the TV on. There were too many switches. He couldn't find the right one. Of course, he could use the radio and the TV, but he had to practice a lot.
And what about the microwave, Antonio? Could you use that?
Yes, I could, but it was difficult.
And what about a cell phone, Jimena? Could he use a cell phone?
Yes, he could. But he couldn't text a message.
Is that true, Antonio? Couldn't you text?
No, I couldn't text a message. I still find texting difficult. But you know, I try to take advantage of new technology.
That's right. As you know, Hero, Antonio uses new technology very well. He just needs some time.
I'm thinking, We should invite people on Radio Rebelde to tell us stories like that. About the first time they used a new machine or device. It can be an interesting part of Tell Us Your Story.
Sure, Grado. That's a good idea. And they also can tell us about famous people.
Right. I'm sure there are a lot of stories.
I will tell the girls. How's it going, rebels?
Sarah has an invitation for all of you.
Yes, Hero. As you know, we have a contest to call. Tell us your story. We want to know things about the past. As part of this contest, we want to give you an idea. Tell us a story about technology in the past or about famous people.
Right! What happened the first time you tried to use a cell phone? Could you use cell phones when they were new?
How did you feel when you bought a new computer? What happened when you first saw a tape recorder on the market? Or the first washing machine? Ask your parents, your grandma, and your grandpa. Anyone you want. Could they use them when they appeared?
You can tell us about famous people. What could they do when they were children? We will have this show tomorrow. Now, listen to this song from San Luis Potosí.
Hi, Hero. Did you read this story?
No. What is it about?
It's great. It's about a woman. She couldn't learn how to use the electric can opener, but she used it as a paperweight. It's really funny.
Peque, look, we got a lot of stories. And Sarah has more. We're reading them. Here, help us.
This one is great too.
Hi, Rebels. Thanks to you, we have a lot of stories for today's show.
Okay. This story is about Memo. Memo was a little boy. He was 2 years old. He could walk and run and play with older boys, but he couldn't talk very well. That day, his mother talked to his father on the telephone. She said to Memo, "Come on, say goodbye to your father, Memo." Memo walked to the phone. He waved his hand, but he didn't talk. He couldn't understand how the phone worked.
That's a nice story, Sarah.
Yes, it is.
Now, we have information about famous people.
Let me read it, Hero. Frida Kahlo was a famous painter. One of her most famous paintings is the Two Fridas. She painted it in 1939.
Could she paint when she was a child?
No, she couldn't. She could paint when she was 18.
That is very interesting.
Yes, Hero. And this is about Michael Jackson. He was a famous singer and songwriter. He was called the King of Pop.
Could he sing when he was a child?
Yes, he could. He could sing when he was 5. When he was a child, he was a voice in the group the Jackson 5.
Hey, girls, listen to this about Beethoven. Beethoven was born in Germany. His father and his grandfather were musicians. He was a composer and a musician.
Could he hear when he was a child?
Yes, he could. But he was completely deaf when he was 45.
Could he play the guitar when he was a kid?
No, he couldn't. He could play the piano when he was a kid.
That reminds me of Helen Keller. She couldn't see, talk, or hear,
but she wrote books.
Could she see, talk, and hear when she was born?
Yes, she could. But when she was 19 months, she had a fever. After that, she couldn't see and hear. She could recognize people by touching their faces or their clothes. She became very frustrated because she couldn't talk. She could talk to her family using her hands.
Wow! That is really incredible!
Hoy aprendimos a usar could para hablar de las habilidades de otras personas. Ahora sabemos que cuando nos preguntan por las habilidades en pasado de una mujer, respondemos yes, she could, si la respuesta es afirmativa. O no, she couldn't, cuando la respuesta es negativa.
Sí, y cuando se trata de responder sobre las habilidades pasadas de un hombre utilizamos yes, he could en afirmativo y no, he couldn't en negativo.
Vamos a ponerlo en práctica con unos ejercicios. Primero, un ejemplo. Observe la siguiente imagen. En la esquina aparece un signo de menos porque la respuesta es negativa. ¿Cómo responderían a esta pregunta? Could your mother read when she was 5? Respuesta: no, she couldn't. Ahora es turno de ustedes.
Miren la siguiente imagen. Observen si se trata de un hombre o una mujer. Respondan a la pregunta. Ahora tenemos un signo de más que indica la respuesta es afirmativa. Could Diego ride a horse when he was a kid? Yes, he could.
Ahora, could your brother run when he was a baby? No, he couldn't.
Siguiente. Could my grandmother walk when she was old? Yes, she could.
Una más. Could your father dance mambo when he was young? Yes, he could.
En la siguiente parte del ejercicio vamos a relacionar las dos imágenes que aparecerán en pantalla para crear enunciados usando could o couldn't.
Del lado izquierdo aparecerá una persona, hombre o mujer. Del lado derecho, una imagen que representa una actividad.
Cuando aparezca un signo de más, escribiremos el enunciado afirmativo. Si aparece un signo de menos, vamos a formar un enunciado negativo.
¿Listos? Vamos a ver un ejemplo. Como ven, de un lado está la imagen de una niña. Del otro, una pelota de básquet. El signo de suma quiere decir que el enunciado es positivo. El enunciado que vamos a formar es She could play basketball. Ahora es su turno. He could ride a bicycle. She couldn't drive a car. He couldn't ride. She could take pictures. He couldn't play football. She could draw very well. Por hoy es todo. Nos vemos pronto.